So are you guys all ready to have some fun and learn some things you can actually do right now as you're sitting here? So how I became $1 million producer in 5 years. A lot of work. And I've learned how to make all these mistakes that I'm going to share with you so you don't make them, so that you can be more efficient with your practice. I never planned on being a wealth advisor. I grew up in Minnetonka, Minnesota, only child, born in December, figure skater that was at the ice arena at 4:30 every morning. So what does that make me? Type A, super driven workaholic. But life doesn't necessarily go how you plan it, right? Went to school for international business and marketing and met a guy who dreamt of being a stockbroker his whole life. I graduated from college, bought a house, and got married. And my first job out of college was a food broker, buying and selling potatoes and onions and transporting them to Mexico and Canada using my international business degree. Well, I started selling makeup to all the men at the Morgan Stanley office. The branch manager pulled me aside one day and he's like, this is great. Like, your husband's great, but why are you not a financial advisor? So fast forward, have 2 kids. Fast forward, leave, and go independent. On January 6th, it'll be 20 years that I left to go independent. My company name was Strategic Financial. So August 4th, 2010 was the first time that the 911 phone call went through. I ended up having to give the company name, the website, the phone number, and the 12 financial advisors to my now ex-husband, and I started all over after my first trial in 2012. So I had to figure out a way. How am I going to market myself? How am I going to love what I do? And it all comes down to knowing your why and knowing your true authentic self. The first thing that really was a huge catapult for me was when I made myself different. You've got to figure out what's your why and what's important to you. Why are you a wealth advisor? And why do you want to do marketing? So I decided to rewrite my bucket list. And I wrote down 12 things that I was going to do once a month for a year. But I couldn't call it the bucket list, because what do people think? They think you're dying. So I came up with the term live it list. So I had an aha moment. Okay, every client at our firm is going to get a financial plan. Yes, we'll look at college, we'll look at retirement, but we ask, what's on your live it list? So when it comes to marketing, you want to first figure out, what do you want? What's your niche? This business, we all know this, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the seeds that you plant today are the things that flourish later on. Because it's not just about me. The best book, if you are owning your own business, is Traction. It empowers your team to help you grow your business. Things are happening and flourishing because I've empowered them. So find good people and set realistic expectations and set the goals. People are like, oh, are you a financial advisor? I'm like, I'm really kind of a therapist. It's psychology. It's emotions. And so you've got to talk to people 6 times. That could be LinkedIn. That could be a podcast. That could be a book. It could be an article. It could be seeing them face to face. It could be interacting. But figure out where your stuff matters. Who's your network? And then find those places where those people are going to be. You want to focus on your reputation because your reputation is everything. And you want to figure out what is your voice. People hear enough noise, enough news about the market. They are well aware of inflation, recession, all these words. But they're not aware of you and your life and what you love and what are your passions. They want to get to know you. They want to have that connection. We host an event once a month called Prosper Wine and Women. And we'll have the fire pit going, the waterfalls, and I just bring out a bunch of bottles of wine. And we have food. And women chat. And what happens? I end up with clients afterwards. So right when we get a referral, no matter if they become a client or not, we send them something. And then 6 months later, we send something again to the person that referred them. You want your people, your clients, your team, anyone that's around you to say, wow. Websites, utilize your contact management system, utilize the technology. It can make your life so much easier. Then how do you get on the media? I get asked this all the time. How do you get on TV? Well, you make yourself unique, different, and then you make it really easy. So I've written now, this is my 5th book that I've written. You don't have to write books. The concept is, this is not just a book. This is an expensive business card. But it's also a tool that goes on Instagram. Social media. Some people hear social media and they're like, oh my gosh, it's scary. It's where you want to be. But you don't have to be on all of them. You've got to find the platform that works for you. Think about your brand and what you're saying. It's not necessarily giving someone something that has your company logo on it. It's what image are you presenting? And how do you want people to see you? Giving thanks. Every time I fly, my personal assistant puts together my whole travel folder, and in there, she puts 5 of these gratitude cards. And I just write a little bit in a note. And so when I get back to the office, I drop it off, and they send those out. So develop a system, a program that works with you, that works with your schedule. And then find out what sets you apart and utilize it. What makes you different? What makes you unique? What do you enjoy?
Thank you so much.